Let's start.
Hello, sports fans.
Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by.
Now, here's JP.
All right, welcome into another edition of the JP Peterson Show. Oh, it's going to be fun today. Because you know what? Timmy's laid up. It's just me. And there I am. Couldn't even find the camera button. That's what it's going to be today, boys. Yeah, we're producing on our own. But I won't be alone today. Charlie Strong's going to pop in here today. We're going to get down and talk some football, as we love to do with Coach Strong all the time. Coach, obviously, working with the Buccaneers last year, knows their personnel very, very well. We'll talk about Mike Evans, the defensive line, the edge rushing situation, what the hell's going on there. And we'll get into all things Buccaneers football. We've got Johnny Gerber coming on at 11:30, and he's going to talk us through the Players' Championship. We're really getting into the golf season now, coming up on our first major, the Masters, which I will be attending this year. Ooh, very excited about getting back to Augusta National. Just saw the chairman the other day, Fred Ridley, who's also a limited partner of your Tampa Bay Rays. Very excited about all those things going on. So we'll hit some baseball as well. Oh my Lord. Team USA lost last night to Italy. Well, lost to a lot of Italian Americans is what they lost to last night. I'm like, which team is American? But tip of the cap to my Italian heritage. What a win last night. It reverberating through the country of Italy, by the way, as the miracle on baseball field. Their miracle on ice has just happened. So we'll get into that. And there is some major controversy over the meathead manager, Mark DeRosa, who didn't even know that they had to win last night. That's right. The meathead manager thought that the USA team was through to the quarterfinals and managed the game accordingly and lost. And then after the game said he misspoke. Yeah, we'll get into that. Lightning lose again last night. We're going to talk a lot of Lightning here in the beginning because we'll hit the Bucs hard with Charlie Strong, get into all that. We've already got your comments coming in. Very much looking forward to checking in with you guys as my co-host today. Timmy's fine, by the way. His internet is just out. I won't say he's fine. I mean, there's a lot of issues going on there, mentally, physically. But that's why we love him. But if he gets his internet back, he's going to pop in and join us. So it's me and you guys today. So let's get to it. We got lots and lots to get to. Yes, I have some thoughts on the John Romano column, which is could his hypocrisy be even any more blatant at this point? It's hard to imagine. And lots to get into with NFL football. All right, so let's jump right in with the Lightning. And that was a crap show last night. They had 4 shots in the first period, 18 shots total. If we could have the Keystone Cops music on for the defensive effort last night, it would be absolutely appropriate. And listen, I sit here as a trying to be an objective reporter here today, not as a employee of the Lightning. So I try to bring it to you straight up, guys. Listen, there's no panic in this team. I'm going to play the John Cooper press conference here in just a second, and you'll hear from him because I think it's important to hear from the coach right now. And because as a fan, you might be in full panic mode. I did not realize this, but they're only 4 points out of the playoffs. Well, actually 6 points out of the playoffs. The top wild card team is Detroit, who's coming in on Thursday, and they're 4 points behind the Lightning. Oh, God. And we have that happen. Hold on, people. All right, you get the wide shot today. I don't know what's going on with my camera. It just decided to quit. The go kaputs. So you don't get the close up. You get the wide shot, but that's fine. Hopefully you can still hear me. Looks like the audio is still coming through. All right. Yeah, so it's just a little bit unnerving, to say the least, that this team is playing defensively the way it is. Again, another 5 goals given up last night. I mean, this team, I think, when they went 21-1, I think they only gave up more than 3 goals 3 times in that run. 3 times. And now they've given up more than 3. They've given up more than 5 goals in almost every game except the ones they played against the Leafs since they've returned. Now, last night, no Darren Radish, no Chernak, Lilleberg still out. They did not have a right-handed defenseman. They had to call up Santini. Did not have a right-hand defenseman. And at times last night, it looked bizarre. It looked bizarre. They just couldn't. It was just discombobulated. Doing a post-game show with Brian Engbaum last night, he talked Chief talked a lot about guys just not knowing their partners and exactly what they're going to do instinctually. When you play years and years and years with a certain grouping, you know, like on a rush, like it's unspoken. Like you see what's coming at you, and you know what the other guy's going to do and what your corresponding move is. And it's not something that even has to be talked about or thought about. It's just you know how it works. You know how each guy likes to play it. And that's not happening with this team right now. And you're getting a lot of goals where there's some scrambles in front and guys are wide open and they're not covering guys without the puck, which is, something that we've seen that when the Lightning go bad, that's a lot of what they see. We heard from the guys last night saying we've just got to close faster. And you just look at the time and space that they're allowing other teams right now. It's dramatic. It is absolutely dramatic how much time and space they are allowing other teams to operate. And that's going to get you beat in this league, especially against skilled teams like Buffalo, even Columbus, who's on a roll now. They've been playing good hockey, and they're ready to go. And here come the Red Wings, desperate to get every freaking point to stay in the wild card race. So, at a 21-1 pace, you figure, you're a lock to be in the playoffs. Well, guess what? They're not. And if they don't pull out of this tailspin in a hurry, and they've got a West Coast trip coming up. They got Carolina coming in, Detroit, a desperate Detroit team. It doesn't get any easier. And this Sunday and Monday will be the only 2 days off that they have for the rest of the season. There's no time to go to practice and figure this thing out. So as I give you the complete panic mode view of that, I'm going to have to do a little upload here of the John Cooper press conference, so bear with me here. I'm also going to share with you the Mark DeRosa press conference from yesterday that was unbelievable. I mean, how in the hell you can not know your team's standing in the rules of the tournament is beyond me. But now USA still has a chance to get into quarterfinals, but we'll get to that in just a second. Here's John Cooper after the game last night, and unlike myself, I'm not panicking because this is an experienced team. They know what they're doing. They'll get it right. But when you're in the middle of it and you're watching it last night, and so much of it, they've lost 6 of 8 since the break, 7 of 8, or 6 of 7 since the first win over the Maple Leafs. They haven't beat anybody but the Maple Leafs since they've been back. But here's Coop.
So a big topic that you guys were talking to us about was execution. Like, it's been so off, it seems. Like, how do you kind of get back to some of that?
It's hard because we're just playing every second. Like, we don't break. So, it's been hard on the guys. We have all these games left. And when you don't get to practice. Your lineup's changing every night, and tonight was abnormally bad. I don't know what happened. It was a tough one. So you play a lot of games in this league. You just got to work your way through it, and but it's been tough. This little rut we're in's lasted a lot longer than I anticipated.
How much deeper does it go beyond the breakout plays? Before the break, you guys are ding, and you were up and out of your zone. Now it seems like passes aren't getting connected, and like it's just a little.
But there's probably a little frustration sets in. I think when it's going so well for you, there's probably times you forget what it took to get there, and then you start playing some games. You come back from a prolonged break, and it's not quite going your way. but then I think something goes in your head that, well, it eventually is going to go our way. Like it did before. It's going to do it again. And there's a lot more to it than that. And so, our rhythm's not there. Obviously, our execution is clearly not there. And I think our emotions, it's been a little bit of a roller coaster of the passion we've had, and then some that we haven't. And it seems that, if something goes poorly in the game, we just kind of compound it instead of like rallying around and pulling ourselves out of it like we did for really long stretches at the beginning of the year. Will this self-correct? I truly believe it will. I'm just not so sure when yet.
John, the PK has been so good all year, and you've gotten some huge kills at big moments. But tonight was one of those nights where,
well, tonight and the other night too.
The other night too,
yeah.
Right?
So,
I mean, what do you see when you see that from a group that you know?
There's just you could see too. There was when you're not connected, things like this happen, and we had. Like, you look at some of our face-offs and we win them and we can't get out because miscommunication and not on the same page, and they are. We've been all year, but it's just those are little things that happen, and then frustration sets in, and all of a sudden you don't get it clear, and some harmless shot ends up in the net. And so, like I said, you're talking about mistakes compounding on top of each other. You make a mistake, everybody makes a mistake. Just make one. Can't make 2, 3, then 4. And it seems like that's what we've been doing. And, heads down, a little bit of kick in the can. We just got to make sure there's no pity party here. And we start gaming, some of these games out, and then especially under PK.
So how do you keep that positivity up then? And you just mentioned not keeping your head down.
Come on, man. This is... I learned a long time ago, you can't ride these emotions. Like when you're rolling and winning and we're doing everything we did before the break, I wasn't raising, pom-poms. And when it's going bad, you can't put your head down and kick the can. This is all part of it. And so, there's tons of faith in the room. Like, we're still in a playoff spot as of today. So if you're going to tell me, after game 62 or 63, we'd be in a playoff spot, I'd be super pumped. So it doesn't really matter how you get here. Now it just matters how we finish. We're all good.
We're all good. We're all good. The voice of calm, the voice of sanity, the voice of what should be the Jack Adams winner this year. I don't hear about Lindy Ruff. If he pulls out of the tailspin, we don't pull out of the tailspin, then all bets are off. But I have all the confidence in the world that they will. They, even since they've been back, it's been a mishmash of lineups and guys coming off of injury. It's just been a lot of and here's the thing we talked about last night on a post-game show, and I'll try to draw this kind of comparison. They go into the break just humming like an F1 car at 100 miles, at 200 miles an hour, 300 miles an hour. They were just as good as it gets. And you could look at a lot of different sports. And when everything is humming, it's easy, man. Everything is working and you got the car tuned just perfectly, right? Well, you shut that car down for 20 days and you come back and pull it out of the mothballs and turn it on. It's not going to work like it did. It's just not. If you know anything about track, when you're doing the 4x100, when you're starting a 4x100 team, you start at about 30% passing the baton. You start about 30%, then you work up the next day, 50%, 60%. And then as you train and get used to the handoffs and everything, you finally get to that 100% and you just nail it and you're going and you're going and you're going. You never drop the baton. Now you take 20 days off and come back and go, okay, go 100%. That baton's going to be all over the track. Same guys, same everything, same track, same everything. It's timing, and timing is fleeting. And when you're talking about at a level of the NHL, where a lot of these teams stayed together during the break with a lot more consistency and practiced, this team was all over the world, all over the map. I'm not trying to make excuses. These are just facts. And then you throw in injuries, and when you're talking about just like Eric was asking about, just executing the exit of the zone, when you're doing it right and everybody's in the right space and you got the rhythm going, man, it's bing, bang, boom, and you're gone. And that's the essence of what the Lightning do. Get out of their zone and go. Play good defense, keep it simple, get out of your zone and go. Connect those passes. Highly skilled team. Like a band that's been off for a couple of years, you jump back on the stage, it ain't going to sound good. Sound check going to be bad. And that's where this team is at right now. They just, the Olympic break freaking killed them. Stopping down a runaway train like that in the middle of a season, and everybody was excited about it. We all were. It was fantastic. We loved every minute of it. It was epic. My God. It's fantastic. But as a Lightning fan, it's the worst thing to ever happen to your team. And that's a fact. That's a fact. I'm not saying we don't do it. I'm not saying, in hindsight, the guys shouldn't have. No, it's not what I'm saying. It's just part of it. It's just part of it. And you're going to get it back. You got 20 games, a little less to get it back. You'll get it back. It's just going to take some time. And you just don't, with everything being so bunched, you just hope you got to get it back quickly. You got to get it back quickly to make sure that you get into the playoffs, because these teams are coming. And it's also that what I'm just talking about is also leads to lack of confidence. And when you don't have confidence in what you're doing at this level, as again, this so minute level of tape to tape passes and how it works, if you're just in the slightest bit hesitant, it doesn't work at this level. It just doesn't work. So they got to get it back. They got to get their swagger back. I thought last night at 3-2, going into the third period, I'm like, okay, here we go. They're going to push here. They're going to put this one away, 5-2 with an empty net, and it went exactly the opposite way. I was a little surprised, but they're just not there yet. No Radish, who's been a huge part of their power play. They were 0 for 3 on the power play last night. Their penalty kill, 2 for 4. Not good enough. As Coop said, their special teams have been horrific. And that's, again, residue of lack of timing and playing together. But there is a remedy to all of that, and that's more time and guys getting back and playing together. So I'm not panicking, but I'm concerned, a little concerned. Let's put it that way. All right, we have breaking news. The Ravens have just signed Trey Hendrickson. 4 years, $112 million. Of course, as you know, they reneged on the Maxx Crosby trade or called it off because of medicals. This is going to be interesting how that is reverberating throughout the entire league, by the way. As they write on NFL.com, it's a stunning turn of events just over 13 hours after the Vegas Raiders said Baltimore backed out of a deal with a trade, 2 first-round picks for Crosby due to medical concerns. They signed the former Bengal, 4 years, $112. Hendrickson's deal is worth up to $120, includes $60 million fully guaranteed, with incentives in the first 2 years can take the guaranteed money to $64 million, according to Ian Rappaport. So really, this is kind of a 2-year, $60 million deal. But when you look at the guaranteed money, that's what you're looking at. 2 years, $60 million. Should the Bucs have been in on that? Look, Trey Hendrickson is going to be 32. Scott Reynolds made a great point yesterday and backed it up with numbers. Pass rushers fall off the cliff about that age, especially ones coming off of injury of a pelvic and hip. You think that's what he had, like a hip and pelvic injury. That core stuff at his age, that's a little scary. But look, you got to take risks to be champions in this league. You just got to. If you don't do it, somebody else will, and it'll work out for somebody. You got 32 teams. What you can't do is sit on your hands and do average meh stuff, like re-signing a bit of above average tight end, bringing back your horrible punter, re-signing a 31-year-old or signing a 31-year-old linebacker with 9 years in the league and a lot of miles, and Anzalone, who I love, great player. How much does he have left in the tank the way he plays? 5 years ago, I would have been doing cartwheels for this guy. But at 31, it's, and where are you at with this team? That sounds like a signing feeling like, all right, we're ready to win. But the rest of what you're doing doesn't say that at all. So it's disjointed. A plan that is disjointed really is a bad plan. And we don't know what the whole plan is yet. It has not been revealed. So we can only judge on what we've seen so far. And what we've seen so far is a whole lot of meh. As I've said many, many times, you keep your 500 coach. That set the table for Mike Evans leaving. He's gone. Now you don't have that unicorn competitive dog that drives your franchise that you got to have, the Maxx Crosbys, the Mike Evans, those type of guys. So did the Bucs now turn and say, maybe we get Maxx Crosby for less? Now, the other thing is there's two teams now that have said we don't want Maxx Crosby, and it's two teams that know the most about him. The Raiders who had him and the Ravens who looked him over medically. Now, they may have just said, Trey Hendrickson's price has now come down, so we'd rather have him without giving up our 2 first-round picks. So it may not be a medical, which it seems like the Raiders are saying it wasn't medical. Now, he did have a meniscus tear, so, you don't know. But it just seems a little odd. They knew he had a meniscus tear. Of course, you got to get him in. You got to look at his knee. And there may be some other stuff that they didn't like either. And don't forget, he's, 8 years in and got a lot of miles on him the way he plays as well. But it's at a more premium position than Anzalone, and he's, 2 years younger. So there's a lot to figure here. And there's a lot going on. There's a lot of negatives you can point to. But again, sitting on your hands and doing a bunch of moves, to me, is the worst part. If you're the Bucs, it's where they've been stuck at. The Bucs have been stuck at about 500 in the middle team, drafting at 15, 19, 20, that's purgatory in the NFL. It's purgatory. Either rip it apart and rebuild it, or keep going for it. And right now, the Bucs are stuck in the middle ground, and it's awful. Just happy winning division titles, throwing up those 8-9, 9-8, 10-7 division titles like they're Super Bowl championships. They're not, especially in a terrible division. That's why, where the Bucs are right now is just doesn't get me excited, and it doesn't get you guys excited either. I'm going to get to some comments here quickly before we hit the break and Charlie comes in. Good morning to you, Jeff Sutler. And Michael LaRue says that the Bucs don't sign an established pass rusher in free agency, Todd Bowles is a dead man walking because his defense is a house of cards. Asking a rookie to save your season isn't a good plan. 100% agree. And look, most of the good pass rushers are gone now. Even the mid-level guys are gone. Jalen Phillips is getting $30 million a year. Now, that seems like a little crazy, but I at least applaud the Panthers for taking big swings, and maybe they see something that he will fit in his defense and make him better. Logan Hall moved on. And we'll talk to Charlie about him as well. That's a guy that probably was playing out of position. Let's see what he does someplace else. That'll be interesting. Aviation says the Glazers are spending money, just spending it on foreign aid rather than their football team. What? Rick says the Glazers won't let Jason spend money. They are now the Stu Glazers. Oof, don't invoke the Stu name. Oh my Lord. Somebody made a meme yesterday about Stu buying the Bucs. I was like, the NFL would laugh at his application. Get out of here. You got thrown out of baseball. You think we want you in the NFL? Get out of here. Aviation says they learned they could get Hendrickson without giving up 2 first, fail his physical, and boom, just like that, you get yourself a bargain. Yep, that's what happened with the Ravens. They said, you know what? We rethink this. If Trey Hendrickson's price has come down, let's just go get him and keep our 2 first-round draft picks. Smart. JS813 says Maxx Crosby's back in the market. If Jason Light has any testicular fortitude, he'd make the trade. Woo! Rick also said, see what happens when you mess with a Cuban? Randy put some bad juju on Team USA. No, they did that to themselves. What a debacle. We'll get into that in the second hour. What an absolute debacle. Watching that last night, man, that was as much as the U.S. hockey teams men and women, plural, uplifted me. This baseball team last night, that was a gut punch. Matt Duria says, JP, tell John Cooper stop hanging out with Todd Bowles. The midseason collapse is wearing off on him. Shut your mouth. Don't even. Going for the best coach in his league to the not best coach in the league. Playboo's Wolf says, JP, I've seen conversations indicating a Middle Eastern group are interested in buying Manchester United. Heard anything? Wonder if it might impact the Bucs. I said it yesterday, and I have absolutely no inside information on this. I'm just looking and reading the tea leaves. I said, are the Glazers looking to just cash out of Manchester United and the Buccaneers? Do they want to go through a expensive renovation of Raymond James Stadium and all the public rigmarole that's going to cause? Or do they just want to cash out? There's a lot of owners that are just cashing out now in their sports teams across the board. With the geopolitical situation of this world right now, this might be the best time to cash out. Go build that bunker. Go get your billionaire bunker done. Yeah. I don't know. Because I've said this out loud to you guys. Like, why have the Bucs not been very aggressive in their renovation plans? Ken Hagan, who's going to join us tomorrow, by the way, has asked the same question. It's like, I asked him, he was like, we haven't heard from the Bucs. We don't know what they want. We're just going to put some stuff aside for them and what we think they're going to need and go that route. But they really haven't come to us. And I'm like, that's interesting. And now you look at the way they're not spending money. Coach Strong is here. I got you on the 2-shot here, Coach. I can't have a 1-shot today because I'm messing up. So relax, sit down, relax. I'm just finishing up here and we're going to go to break. So welcome in, Coach. Good to see you. So I don't know what their plans are right now, to be quite honest. So yeah, absolutely. Grab a water, Coach. All right, we're gonna hit the break. We'll come back on the other side and we'll get it all into this. There's a lot of interesting things going on all over the league, Coach. I haven't known if you heard this. The Ravens just signed Trey Hendrickson. That's an instant reaction right there. They backed out of their deal and then they signed Trey Hendrickson. So lots to talk about. Back in just a few minutes. Stay with us. Here for Pitch Roofing, one of our new sponsors and the most reliable and honest roofers in the business. They love the Lightning, and Bolts fans be entered to win a pair of premium Mark Club seats with every free roofing estimate from Pitch Roofing. Seats include food and beverages, early access, premium entry, and a backstage tour of Lightning Vision with yours truly. Always get 2 to 3 estimates when replacing your roof, and be sure to include Pitch as one of those roofing companies. With a free estimate from Pitch, they're not trying to hard sell you. They educate you on your roof and the process. Even if you do not choose Pitch Roofing as your roofer, they want to leave you feeling informed, knowing the different materials and manufacturers, and understanding the process and warranties. Very, very important. Pitch is an Owens Corning preferred contract, Better Business Bureau accredited, and My Safe Florida Home approved. That's very important as well. Pitch prides themselves on full transparency and customer first level of service. They also offer financing options, including 0% plans, ensuring a stress-free experience. Call my friends at Pitch Roofing, 727-67-PITCH. That's 727-677-4824, or go to pitchroofing.com.
Pitch Roofing, roofing done right.
As the Rays enjoy being back in their Tropicana Field home this season that was ravaged by Hurricane Milton, Italiano Insurance wants to remind us all how important it is to be properly insured. 40% of you are underinsured. That can mean financial disaster. Let the experienced and friendly agents at Italiano shop your policies for the best price and the right coverage. Italiano saved me over $1,000 on our auto insurance last year, over $500 on our homeowners insurance. They can do the same for you. That's a grand slam. Might as well get a double play by adding flood insurance and business insurance to your portfolio. Cost less than you think, And trust me, you do not want to risk your home or personal wealth. That's a whiff. So step up to the plate and call 813-877-7799 and chat with our all-star agents at Italiano Insurance, or call our Boca Grande office at 941-964-0400. JP here for Riveters, the official sports bar and grill of the JP Peterson Show. We're located just south of Ray J and Steinbrenner Field, so it's a great pre- and post-game spot, and the happy hour is amazing. Monday through Friday, 3 to 7. Check out these specials. $3 Bud Light drafts, $4 domestic bottles, $5 wells, $6 premium wells, $6 cocktails like margaritas. That's unheard of. And the Riveters food is freshly made daily. No freezers. Happy hour food specials include $3.50 tacos and barbecue sliders. $6 you get edamame or chips with the beer cheese, which is amazing. $8 buffalo chicken dip, my favorite. The truffle fries, chili cheese fries, also $8 at happy hour. As well as other specials throughout the week, including Taco Tuesdays, you get $3 tacos, and Wing Wednesdays, 7 o'clock to 1 a.m. in the morning, you get our amazing wings, 5 for $5 and $5 wells and wines. That's a good Wednesday night. So if you're tired of the preppy, overpriced, generic sports bars, come see the amazing, friendly bartenders and staff at Riveters, where customer service really matters. Riveters, just south of where the Rays and Bucs play. We'll see you there. Hey, the Golden Diamond Source wants to be your family jeweler, so don't wait any longer to find that one-of-a-kind perfect engagement ring for that special someone in your life. At the Golden Diamond Source, they can design anything you want personally. The Golden Diamond Source can help you trade in your old broken jewelry and use it towards a new purchase as well. And with gold prices at record high, now is the best time to do it. They only sell natural diamonds at the Golden Diamond Source, so if it's a real love, it should be a real natural diamond. Don't start your relationship with a fake diamond. Bad idea. And with the Golden Diamond Source first-time buyer program, you can learn all about the 4 C's in all the different shapes and styles. And they are able to show you a huge selection of inventory to choose from. And don't forget, 0% financing for up to 5 years. If you finance $5,000, it's only $83 a month. Make sure it's a Golden Diamond Source diamond, 3800 Almerton Road, always online at goldendiamond.com.
It's a love you give only at Golden Diamond Source.
Hey, lots going on at Genesis of Tampa, selling amazing vehicles and doing great things in the community. And March is Gray Bull Rescue Military Appreciation Month. A portion of all vehicle purchases go towards a donation to Gray Bull Rescue, who recently saved dozens of Americans from the cartel violence in Mexico. A great organization. St. Patrick's Day is coming up. Wear green, buy green, save green. Wear green to Genesis of Tampa on St. Patrick's Day, March 17th, for $500 off any vehicle in stock. Buy anything green, that's green in color, the cars, SUVs, you get $1,000 off. Also, buy a vehicle between March 14th and 17th, and you'll be entered to win a trip to Ireland on us. How about that? Of course, Genesis vehicles are the best in class for value, technology, luxury. And there's a National Genesis Signature event going on currently to get 1.9% financing. Limitations apply. Whether it's the G70, G80, 90 sedans, or the incredible SUV lineup, take a test drive and see what everyone is talking about. It's special. Genesis of Tampa, 801 East Bears Avenue. Tell them JP sent you.
Let's go. Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
JP, can you hear me? You got no sound after coming back from the break. You got no sound.
Like that too. How about now?
Now we got you.
All right, Coach. We'll start all over. All right. For those who can't read lips, we'll start all over. So Trey Hendrickson signs with the Ravens now, and this is and Maxx Crosby is going back to the Raiders. How's that going to feel?
Oh, so you leave a team and you say bye-bye, and then not so fast. So
Yeah,
now coming back, and then they go and get another player. So they say to you, you know what? You didn't pass your medical, so now we're going to go sign. And Hendrickson, like you said, he's coming off an injury himself, but he's cheaper, so I don't have to give up 2 first-rounders. So that's what I get to keep. I get to keep my 2 first-rounders, so now I can go into the draft knowing I do have a guy.
Yeah. What do you think of Crosby as a player? And is he someone the Bucs actually they could go after him now? And would you give up 2 first-round picks for him? Because I just said this too. You've got 2 teams now that don't want Maxx Crosby. The Raiders, who know him the best, and the Ravens, who just looked under the hood.
Good. And so now I think that's what's going to be hard for him because really other teams are going to look at it. Now, it's going to be a doctor. It'd be enough medical people who can look at him and say, hey, he is ready to go. With the Ravens saying he wasn't through their sources and the way they got him checked out. But, I just still think that he's a guy who can be productive. And you look at a player with a lot of plays. He plays that game the way it should be played. He plays so hard, and he's relentless, and he's reckless, and he gets after the quarterback, and he can stop the run. It's not like he's just a pass rusher.
Right.
He's a run defender too. But he's been around the league, understands the game, knows the game, studies the game. I would not be afraid to take a chance on him because if you can get your medical doctor to say, yes, he's ready to go, then you take that chance.
Well, this defensive line and defense as good as anybody, what's left of it. Logan Hall signs it with the Texans. We'll talk about him in a second. To me, this is exactly what the Bucs need because I don't see that type of leader, that type of force multiplier. He doesn't, as you said, he doesn't bring the great production. He brings an attitude and an edge and a physicality. And also he makes other guys accountable. Does he not? I mean, this is exactly what the Bucs need.
Well, you need,
and they don't come along very often, by the way.
Well, you need some energy, and you need, and up front right now, when you look at the Bucs, their front 7, you don't have that guy.
You don't
have him. So now you add a Maxx Crosby into the picture, and then it elevates everybody else's game. So now they hold one another accountable. They know what they got to do now, and their whole game increases. Because you just look at what he would do with Vita sitting there, with Kalijah sitting there. You look at what he would do, and now you add Maxx Crosby, and all them guys are looking, okay, this guy isn't our pro. This guy knows how to work. This guy has done it before. So it's only going to make them better.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I think Bucs fans are with Mike leaving yesterday, and we've talked about that. He knows this organization better than anybody, and he's going across the country taking less money, and California is going to take even more of it to go play there and leave a team that he said he never would leave and wanted to end his career with. I mean, that tells me that he thinks this team has no shot. You go get Maxx Crosby, and you add him to this front 7, and obviously you give up your first-round pick. There's no player, even Mesidor. I don't think he ain't Maxx Crosby. He's a good player, but he
isn't Maxx Crosby because you look at a guy who's been around the league, who's been this guy has proven that he is productive in the league. Yeah. Like he can go sack the quarterback. But you think about this, JP. Think about what it would do to this fan base if you add a guy like a Maxx Crosby.
Unbelievable.
Then they're sitting there saying, okay, you know what? They are for real. Now we wouldn't got him. So now we're saying, hey, we're ready to go now.
And I'm a big culture guy and fit guy. And I don't know if he fits into this Bulls defense as an edge rusher. I don't know if he wants to drop in coverage. I think he's athletic enough to do so. But talk about how he would fit in the Bulls scheme.
I think if you got Maxx Crosby, it wouldn't be no dropping in coverage. It's no dropping in coverage. You're gonna find a way. You're just gonna let him rush because that's what he does.
God, I hope so.
You would have to let him rush, and I think adding a guy like that. And the thing about Todd is he understands defenses and he's been around a lot of defenses with a lot of different schemes. He's going to make sure that defense is fit around Maxx and let him go do his thing.
Yeah. I just think where the fan base is right now, and he fits this culture. I mean, this dude, he looks like a pirate. I mean, if he was alive 500 years ago, that's what he'd be. Blackbeard. That's what he'd be doing. He's just that guy. I mean, this fan base would go crazy over this guy. You would totally flip Mike leaving and everything. And this is what I'm saying, Coach. If you're serious about winning, you go and make this deal. You might get him for less too. You might get him for 1-2.
You just need just a shot of energy right now, and just give the fan base some hope. Because now when you're looking what's left out there, he is a guy that is out there who can elevate the whole team, not only on defense,
right?
He'll elevate the whole team.
Yeah.
Because now when the offensive line had to go pass rush against him, he's going to make them better because now you got to go block a guy who is a known pass rusher, who knows that's what he can do. And then like I said, it's not only his pass rushing skills, but he can stop the run. He's got so much, and he brings so much. Like you said, just his whole attitude and just his relentless effort and how he goes about it, his preparation. That's what he'll bring to the team.
Now, some fans will say, "Look, JP, we don't want an injured guy that we're going to have to pay $30 million over the next. I think it's guaranteed for the next 2 or 3 years. We don't want. Why not just get a lower price guy like a Mesidor? Bain will probably be gone, but there's some good pass rushers available at 15." And I say, young kids take a while to get to where Maxx Crosby is. It may take 2 or 3 years, even if none of these guys in the draft are going to be that guy.
No, they won't be that guy because he's been in the league too long, and he's studied the game too long. He knows. The thing about the league is you got to know who your opponent is, and you have to know each and every week who you're going up against. Yeah. So some of those tackles that he's going to be facing, he's faced them before, so he knows. You know what? I can use the spin move on him. I got to stay outside. It's got to be up and under on him. He brings a different mindset and going against and attacking opponents weekend, which a young guy, it's going to come for him, but it is not going to come for him right away.
All right, let's talk about Anzalone, who you know, right?
Yes.
Married to Riley Cooper's
sister.
Yeah,
yes.
So has a home here.
Yes.
So my thought was I like Devin Lloyd at 27 years old, only 4 years in the league, more expensive, but I think more up on the come. And Anzalone at 31, the way he plays, 9 years in the league. How much does he have left in the tank? I mean, I love the size. I love all that, but I'm just a little concerned about what's left in the tank.
Well, you look at him, and he plays so physical.
Yeah.
And you're looking at the defense right now, you probably need somebody like an Anzalone who can sit in there and play. He can play heavy and he's physical. And he's another one that has the right attitude with him. Played at University of Florida. Now he's getting a chance to come back home, married to Riley's, sister. But I just like his game because I know that he's going to each and every week, what you're going to get out of him. Yeah. And he's going to come and he's going to play hard. And he's another one who is going to be good enough to get everybody else around him going and get guys to understand what we have to do to go win these games.
Logan Hall signs with the Texans, going back to Houston. What are your thoughts on Logan? I know you liked him as a player. He wasn't super productive here, maybe playing out of position a little bit in this defense. What do you think?
Well, you look at Logan. He has a size. He has athletic build. A guy that was injury free. He never got hurt. But I still look at him and as a guy who I just think that he's still got a lot of football left ahead of him.
Yeah.
He's going to develop. He's going to get better and better and better. And then, so with him going out to Houston, which he's going back home now, and he played at University of Houston. But I just think there's a guy who's got a lot of upside to him and a guy who's still got a lot of ball where he's going to get better.
Yeah. I would have liked to bring him back. He's getting $7 million a year. That might be a little much for that, but obviously Houston likes him. And boy, do they have a front seven.
They already have two outside rushers.
Yeah.
But the thing what Logan can do, and he's a big four technique, so he can play the big four, and then he can play outside in a five technique and come off the edge. But he's a guy that has a very versatile, got enough athletic ability, not a lot of flexibility, where he can play a lot of different positions for you up front.
All right, so if you were right now as you sit here, if you're Jason Light, what would you do? Would you give up 2 1s to get Maxx Crosby? Would you give up a 1 and a 2 and a player? How would you just stick with what you got and try to fix this in the draft? You already got Anzalone. Do you add another veteran linebacker? Do you add another veteran defensive tackle? Seems like all the good ones are gone. Where does this front seven need to be fixed?
Well, if you have a guy like Maxx Crosby sitting there and you have a chance to go get him, you have to go get him. And if he's interested and if both sides can come to an agreement, whatever that may be, if it's a one, hey, it's a one. Even if you give one, right, it's all about fixing your needs right now. And he's that pass rusher that we don't have.
Mm-hmm.
And so he could be a guy that could, help us, to where he can bring the athletic ability with him and then bring the whole different mindset for the fan base.
All right. You played against the Panthers this year. They signed Jalen Phillips and they also signed Devin Lloyd to that. That looks like a team. And last year, I think they went out and really bolstered their offensive line. I'm not in love with their quarterback, but from a front seven and an offensive line standpoint, they look like a team that's going to be tough in the trenches. What are your thoughts?
Well, what they have done, like you said, they go sign Lloyd at backer, then they get an outside rusher, and where they came on late in the season last year. Then you look at them, they got pretty good in the secondary, but they were able to just wherever their weaknesses were, they were out, trying to strengthen them with going out and get those two guys. And like you said, the quarterback, the thing he doesn't do is he just don't make mistakes. He keeps them in the game, keeps them close, and then they find a way to go win it at the end. But with getting those two guys, that did probably help them and place them in a pretty good position. Yeah.
Getting back to Mike, just you work with him for a year. What are the Bucs losing? We all know what we're losing in terms of the player, but how important are those leadership characteristics and those guys like Maxx Crosby? I call them unicorns because it's hard to find those competitive guys now that really, really want to win, that it's truly about winning and it's not about money. It's not about fame. It's just guys coming up now are just a little bit more selfish. That's the way most of them have been raised. Finding guys like this, I think, are key to your team. You got to have 2 or 3 of them. I think the Bucs have Baker. They have Mike, Vita Vea. There's some players there that kind of embody that, but losing Mike, what does that do to the chemistry of this team?
Well, you just talk about just leadership and just his leadership ability. I saw Mike, and I was at Texas when he was at Texas A&M, and he's a guy that he comes to work. He doesn't say much. It's all about the work ethic for him and how he goes about his job each and every day. He is a true professional. When you talk about a guy who's a professional and you like to see him work, that's you watch Mike Evans and he's going to give you that, whether on the practice field, like when you watch, like when we went to practice, like not a lot of guys would take reps with the scout team. He would take rep with the scout team. It didn't matter to him.
Wow.
Because he would just work, because that's who he was, because he was just a true professional. And you look at a guy like Mac, you look at those young guys, he was helping groom them and bring them along. And so that's where he was good at. And, and then now it's going to fall on Chris. But Chris is he's a true professional also. So, but, losing Mike, you just lose a guy with experience, with leadership ability, a true professional, a guy that's great for the team, great for the community. Is sometimes those guys are hard to replace.
Yeah, really, really hard to replace. Just from now watching what the Bucs are doing, what's your overall thoughts? Does it feel like they're in it to win it right now, or you need to see more?
Well, Well, it's so hard to say right now because there's so many things that are going on behind closed doors, and we really don't know. Like Jason, I guarantee you, he's working the phones, and him and Ty, they're having conversations, and still, this thing isn't over with because I know we got a deadline today, but you can still take it. We still got a lot to go and a long time before the season. But they're still working, and I think this. I think they will get a team there that we will be pleased with, and get some guys on the field that'll be happy to be here. Because the key thing is they just got to get guys who want to be a Buck, and want to come in here and compete at the highest level. Because you're going to have to do it. Anytime you line up each and every week, you have to go compete. It's pretty clear. Mike thinks that the Bucs aren't contenders right now. Because he wants to win, and he's going across the country. Well, but sometimes you just never know with guys and what they're thinking. And if you look at it, you have a really good quarterback in Baker. You still have those young receivers that are coming along. And you look at it, like sometimes guys get into their career where, hey, you know what, maybe it is time for me to make a change. As coaches, we do it all the time. But when we see a player who's been sitting somewhere for 13 or 14 years, you're like, okay, why is he leaving? But you just never know why. And I tell you right now that Mike, we know how he feel about this place. Yeah, he loves Tampa. Yes. I just don't think he loves what's going on with the Bucs right now. Now in San Francisco, Kyle Shanahan with Mike, Brock Purdy, they've got some weapons there, but he'll be the focal point of the passing game. How do you think that works? Well, you got to get a lot of play action too, and it's a similar offense. And you got Purcell, who's a speedy receiver, who can get it to the outside. And Mike is still a big receiver who still have enough left in his tank where he can go downfield and make plays and go dominate at that position. Yeah, I said this many times in watching him in training camp this year. It's the best I'd ever seen Mike. He was faster. He was so in sync with Baker, and I thought he was poised to have a huge freaking year. And those injuries, the hamstring and the collarbone, I think he would have had another 1,000-yard, 1,200-yard, a 10-touchdown season at least. And that's what I was talking about, Jay. When you look at just his leadership and how he goes about his job and how he works, and you saw it during the preseason where he was, how hard he was going, and then he gets a collarbone, he gets a ham, and then that slows him down. But if he stays healthy, who knows how good of a season he would have had, and we wouldn't be talking about him right now because who knows what we would have been able to do. Which teams right now are you looking at in the NFL? I know it's early. We still haven't had the draft. We still haven't finished free agency. But is there any team out there you think that's helped themselves the most? That's that you look at and say this is the team you got to watch right now. Well, you look at what LA did when getting the corner, which helped their defense. Gave up their first round pick. But it's so hard to say because it just takes a player or two to change your whole team. Yeah, and because you think about this, a few years ago, we're sitting here, we get Brady, we get Gronk, and go and win the Super Bowl. Yeah, think about that. You get Brady and Gronk and go and win the Super Bowl. But you had enough guys on defense. You had Sue. You had some guys on defense. JP Peterson, all of them guys. You were strong enough with Lloyd, and then Devontae was younger. But we had enough around them. So it just take one or two players that you can get, and then all of a sudden it takes off. Darnold last year going to Seattle. Yeah, you look at it. He leaves Minnesota, and everybody's like, "Wow, Minnesota!" He leaves Minnesota, goes to Seattle, and now he goes and have an unbelievable season. They win the Super Bowl. They're going to win the Super Bowl. What was the secret sauce for Seattle? You think it was just their defense? You played. You guys beat them 38-30. What was they? And they were missing a lot of their guys on defense that day, but we were missing guys too. What was their secret sauce? You think? It's just sometimes it's just the chemistry. It all comes together at one time, and you start playing, and you start believing in one another. Then they start believing in the quarterback, and then you look at Nigma starts playing well at wide receiver, and then the defense comes along. But it just takes the whole team and just the whole makeup, and just like I said, the chemistry of it all. You know, guys, you know, now all of a sudden they're working together, and as we knowing that. They knew that their offense knew if we don't turn the ball over, our defense will be good enough to go play and win the game.
Yeah, it just seemed like they were so physical defensively, and even offensively, they kind of took it to you with the run game, and then Njigba was just unstoppable.
But if you look at it, Jay, during the season, it's not like they had this guy's a guy, you know, like it was a collective group of all of them playing together. You know, the secondaries playing together, the linebacker, the defensive front. You're right, Nigma comes on, and then Darnold is, you know, making throws. But it's sometimes it's all about, you know, guys coming together at the right time.
Getting hot.
You get hot,
yeah,
and then they start believing it.
Yeah.
And once you believe it, now it's tough to overcome that.
Yeah. I'm guessing a lot of your since we're college football here, a lot of your friends and people you've worked with were up at the White House on Friday talking to the president about fixing college football and college athletics. It's a lot of the stuff that we've been talking about. Do you think they're going to be able to get something done at the federal level? Because the way I look at it now, Coach, the Big Ten and the SEC are just trying to dominate everything for their selfish purposes and really don't have the game in mind, the college athletics in mind, what's best for all the colleges. You know, I'm not saying all 500. I'm talking about we probably got about 120, 130 D1 teams and programs that we need to take, you know, keep solvent. What are some of your thoughts that came out of that, and what can there actually be something done at that level?
Well, I think, Jay, when you look at the meeting there, it's most of the focus was on the NIL, and so it's I don't know how you're going to slow it down now, because we said, okay, name, image, likeness. Okay, so now you say we need to pay these guys. So if you can't come to an agreement of what we're gonna pay them, schools. So you take a school, and if a school has the money, then you go buy your team.
Yeah,
That's what they're gonna do. And
some schools are going to go deep in debt, like Florida State.
Yes, and schools will go deep in debt trying to pay for it. And so now you look at it. It's almost like the system of the rich just gets richer.
Yeah,
because if you can go buy a player, you know, somebody was telling me the story, and I don't really know all the details. Like the quarterback at Duke had signed that re-up with Duke, and then all of a sudden Miami comes in and takes him away from him.
Yeah.
So if a school can have the money to convince the kid, because, you know, with kids, they just look at how much you're giving them. They don't really care about it. But I think behind all of this, what we're really losing is just the tradition of the universities. You know, like it used to be a time where the Florida game meant something, and it meant something where it
meant everything.
You go and recruiting, Jay, and on this side of the street were your Gator fans, and on this side of the street were the Seminoles fans, and you knew that when you recruited one another.
Yeah.
Now it doesn't really matter, because you're getting guys in your program, you know, like, hey, we bringing 45 new guys in. Like, think about that. 45 new guys are coming in
every year.
Every year. 40, they're leaving, so you got to replace them.
USF has to replace, I think, every single starter.
Every starter. So you're losing guys. So really, what does that mean to them? Like, to go to that university, it's like they're not playing for the university.
They're just checking into a hotel.
And you know, at the end of the semester, they're leaving.
Yeah.
So it's just so much is being lost now, and the game the game is getting away from us, because anytime, you know, everybody always say anytime money becomes involved, then you're going to lose a lot. And that's what has happened to the college game right now.
I think the only way to fix it, frankly, is for the federal government to get involved. And I hate even saying that. But in terms of athletics, I like my athletics to be socialist.
Yes.
Like everything goes into one pot, and it's an even playing field for everybody. That works in the NFL. Very simplistically, that works in the NFL. It works in other sports. And right now, college football has no guardrails on keeping players in terms of contracts. They have no guardrails in terms of salary caps or salary minimums, what teams can spend, what they can't spend. And it's complete chaos. And I think that's something that Saban said the other day that really resonates. They've got to get these guardrails back. And the only way to do that, frankly, is through some federal legislation that's going to force the SEC and Big Ten to not do everything that's in their own self-interest.
But Jay, you look at
because they're running the show right now.
They are. But you look at the NFL. You only have 32 teams.
Right. Exactly.
So that's
exactly.
all you're dealing
It's
with.
different.
You're only dealing with 32 teams, and the pool of players that you are really going after, you have seen them play. So they're out there in college football right now, and there's only so many that you're going to go chase. But if you look at college, I mean, like you said, the Big Ten and the SEC, they're trying to dominate the whole.
They're trying to create another NFL.
Yeah, they're trying to run. They're trying to run college football. So if we allow that to happen, then they're going to go off to their side and run ball. And then what happens to the rest of the teams?
It seems to be the number is like 60, 64, somewhere there. Like 64 in, 64 out. And USF is like right on the edge of that line.
I know, but when you look at 64 teams, it's you got to look at, okay, where does the cutoff? You're right. So if I'm sitting there at 65, I know. Get in.
And that's catastrophic.
Yes.
That's catastrophic.
Yes.
And if you're USF and you don't get in, you don't get elevated. And I think they will. I think
they will too. They should get in.
They should.
They deserve it.
It doesn't always happen the way.
But now, though, Jay, when we talk about down the federal get down, do we tax these kids? Which they get?
They should be taxed.
They're getting taxed now.
Yeah.
So now they're getting taxed. And then you don't want them to fall behind in these taxes.
No.
So
no state tax in Florida.
Yeah, that's right. So no state tax in Florida. So that's why a
little recruiting advantage. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
But it is. I think that what happened, they let this come about and there was no plan
right.
of action.
I know.
It was nothing to slow it down. Okay, so we're going to do this. Okay, so where are the guardrails? Like, how are we going to prevent it from getting out of hand? And that has.
Well, I mean, historically, I and I covered Florida State back in the day as a beat reporter, and I understood how the sausage was made. And I said, even then, this is 30 years ago. I said, this isn't sustainable. Because these players have to get paid in some way. You can't have – these rules are ridiculous. A kid can't get a freaking hamburger, can't get a job, on the weekends if the cafeteria is not open, how they eat and how they getting home to their mama. I mean, it's just mama can't pay the electric bill, and it's crazy. I said something has to change. And there was an opportunity in that moment for administrators to change things and do it incrementally, and then we wouldn't be in this mess. But they were too greedy. They wanted to keep the players from getting the money. They wanted to keep the money, keep building facilities, keep them happy. They'll be happy. We'll give them a nice dorm room. It's like, no, that's not how this should be working. And then I said, eventually there's going to be lawsuits and legislatures are going to get involved and or judges are going to get involved, and you're not going to like the outcome because you're going to lose every case that comes up. And this is what has happened.
That's what's happened. Because like you said, you can remember a time where a kid came to your school because you had a nice training room, you had a nice stadium, a nice locker room. Hey, those cats could care less about that now. Yeah. They don't even want to see it. He goes, listen, let's meet right now.
Yeah. How much money are you giving me?
How much money are you giving me?
I'm going to see what my apartment looks like. Not this dorm.
I'm going to go get me a nice apartment.
Or if you're Shedeur Sanders, I'm going to give me a 7-bedroom house.
Look, they're not going to talk about no dorm room.
In a Lambo.
Yeah. You know what they're going to say? I'm not staying in the dorm.
No, exactly. hell with that.
Exactly.
But I'm just hoping that in some way we figure this out, that the legislature, I think the government has to get involved at this point, because when left to their own devices, we'll see where this is going. And there's going to be a lot of teams that are left out. And then they're going to sue the Big Ten and the SEC, and it's going to get even uglier.
Well, and if you look at it too, the people that are getting hurt right now are the high school athletes.
Oh God, yeah.
Because they're not. It used to be a time I would recruit a young man, and I would say, you know what? In 2 years, he's going to be something. So I'm going to take him. I'm going to get him in the weight room. I'm going to let our guys take him, build him up, let the nutrition get him right and everything. You can't go take that guy now because you got to win. Because
I got a grown ass man over here at Liberty.
Yes,
that's dying to come play at the University of Florida,
and he's been playing at Liberty for 4 years.
Yeah, and he's a grown ass man.
Because you look at Indiana, and I think they had like somewhere, I think they had like 47 players between the ages of 23 to 25.
Yeah,
and they would have won a national championship. 47 players. You think about it. It used to be a time at 21. You talking about getting out of school,
right?
You know about 23 to 25 now.
These are grown.
These are grown, really grown ass men, and they're gonna stay in school as long as they can because they know I can make more money in college than if I went to the NFL.
Yeah,
I may not get drafted, I may not get signed.
But I can play here.
I can play here, and they're gonna pay me. And so I'm gonna stay here.
It's not a bad deal for them.
Oh, it's not a bad deal at all.
And people think, well, what did Signetti figure out? That's what he figured out.
He figured out. That's exactly
because not only are they bigger and stronger, they're smarter.
They're smarter,
and they can during a game they can do things that 19-year-olds can't in terms of mentally.
You're right. And you know, same thing. Miami when they lined up. Look at the quarterback they lined up.
Yeah,
Mazzador been there 7 years.
He's 25 years old.
It's exactly right. So Miami, they had a team out there that had a lot of experience with them. So it's what you're looking at. You're looking at, hey, man, you know what? I like this freshman. I really like him, but you know, I got a receiver over it who wants to come here.
So if you were head coach right now, how much time would you spend recruiting high school versus other college players?
If I was a head coach right now, I would only go get the high school players who I know could help me right now.
Which are very few and far between.
Very few and far between.
And those are mostly skill players, not linemen.
They're skill players because a lineman, he hasn't developed yet.
No.
So
I look at some of these high school linemen, I'm like, oh my God, this guy's a 5-star.
Yes.
He looks like my paper boy. He's gonna get.
He's gonna gain so much weight now.
I know he's gonna 40, 50 pounds before he can play.
But you know what I was saying, JP, and I said if I was in college, I would. If I was at a smaller school, I would get hooked up, just say like with a University of Florida, Florida State, or Miami. And I would say to them, okay, look, you send me your guys that you want me to develop. I get them here, I'll play them, and I'll send them back to you. Almost like a junior college.
Yeah.
But they're coming to a university, so you're going to play good competition. So you're going to play right now.
Right.
And then when you're good enough, you want to transfer. Because you tell a young man, hey, go to this school and then get good and then transfer back to me.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a whole different game, Coach. It's a whole different game.
You got to sit there and think of ways at night how you going to be on top of people.
Yeah.
Ain't that bad? That's so bad now because it used to be a time you didn't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
I'm going to recruit my guys. We're going to go play and this is what I got. But it's no longer like that.
No, there's a lot of stuff going on. Oof.
Yes.
Well, Coach, thanks for jumping in here. It's always fun to talk ball with you. Appreciate you. We'll chat with you next week. What's up? Oh, God, I totally forgot about that. I'm ashamed to say your Lou Holtz has passed, and you're going up there this weekend. You worked with him for many, many years at Notre Dame. You've said some of the best years of your life, except the weather.
Yes.
Your thoughts on what's going to go down this weekend in Notre Dame?
Well, it is going to be. I was talking to Skip the other day, and it's probably going to be one of the largest funerals that they have ever had on the campus of Notre Dame.
Wow!
And so it's you know what, Jay? It's just that guy was such not so much an inspiration, but he brought so much belief to guys, and so. I don't think that the players that he impacted, the people that he impacted, they never forgot about that because it was just his belief. And he made you believe that there wasn't nothing that you couldn't go accomplish, you know. And I always think back where what he always said to you, can I trust you? Are you committed to excellence and do you care?
Yeah.
That's what it's, and that's what he said it to his coaches. He said it to his players. Can I trust you? Are you committed to excellence and do you really care? And that's something when he told me, I never thought about it, never looked at it like that until he told me that. And I was like, wow, this is something.
I saw, one of the things I was blessed a few times to be in his presence, when he was just being himself.
Right.
And he would tell some of he had the funniest one-liners. And one of my favorites was he'd say, let me tell you, you think your wife is your best friend? Is your wife your best friend or your dog? I prove it to you. Lock your wife and your dog in a trunk for 2 hours and see who's happy to see you when it comes out.
Yes, that's right. He did have the best one-liners. And you sit around. I heard him speak so many times, and I heard him speak the same speech. And it's like every time you heard, he's like, wow.
Because you were on the recruiting trail. Yeah.
It never got old.
And the delivery was spot on.
Spot on.
He and Coach Bowden were like two peas in a pod, man. They were just the best.
And whenever he got up to speak, he'd say, how long did I got? He'd say 45 minutes. He always flipped his watch and turned it to him. And at 45 minutes, he was done. Like he would walk off at 45 minutes. Like, bam, it's it.
Yeah, Bobby wasn't like that.
No. He didn't carry on. He did not carry
Bobby
on.
would keep going. He didn't care, and nobody else did either. It's gonna be such an outpouring. And the actual funeral's on Monday, correct?
Yes. So we Sunday is the visitation from 7 to 10 at the Basilica there on campus at Notre Dame, and then Monday is the funeral.
Can you imagine? He was coaching right now, and player came in and said, Coach, I need $2 million more. Or like now these kids are coming in the middle of the season. They have a 6-catch game and they're in the coach's office. I need a raise.
There's no way. And I told him,
how would that go over?
I told him, I said, there's no way you could coach right now. There's no way you could coach. Because I said the players, they're different, Coach. There's no way. Because I said you coach because you want guys that love the game. I said, I don't know how much they love the game because it's the money, so much money's involved. You don't have to really love the game. It's the money so much.
What did he say?
Oh, he said, you're doing Shirley. You're right.
There's no way I could do this.
No way.
He was a treasure, man. And, it's one of those, it's a part of college football that, that romantic part of the game, of the love of the game, the love of the institution, playing for something bigger, all these things that really are the bedrock of college football. The emotional attachment that we have to our schools and the players and that collegiate atmosphere, it's unlike anything else, or was unlike anything else in sports. And it's all that magical part. You're taking that magic part away, and it's becoming a business. It was always a business in a lot of ways, but the bedrock of it was that magic. And when you take that magic away, it's just, another league.
Jay, you look at him and he goes to Notre Dame, and he's at Notre Dame for 10 to 12 years. And everybody associated him more with Notre Dame because the attachment, they have not won a national championship since he won it. But it's like, when you think of Notre Dame, you're gonna say Lou Holtz, or you say Lou Holtz, you think of Notre Dame.
And he coached Arkansas, South Carolina,
North Carolina, South Carolina. After Notre Dame, we went to South Carolina together.
Yeah,
but the attachment that
it's always been Notre Dame.
So it will always be Notre Dame.
Yeah,
and it's he's got a statue there, but it's amazing how. The older coaches from the Bobby Bowdens, even with Coach Spurrier, how they are attached to different schools.
Yeah.
You would never ever think Coach Bowden was never at Florida State.
No,
you could never pull Coach Spurrier away from the University of Florida.
No.
Those guys were attached to those schools, and that's what made those schools and them so special.
Yeah. Well, Coach, thank you for reminding me of that, and enjoy your trip to South Bend and seeing a lot of old friends and reliving and really celebrating the life of one of the greatest to ever do it.
I sure will, but that weather will be right, though. I think it's going to be a little All right, Jay. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. All right, we'll get back to talking some baseball, Team USA, which is an absolute disaster. We'll do that when we come back. Well, the folks at Third Generation Plumbing and AC want to say thanks for making them so dadgum busy. Of course, advertising on your favorite Tampa Bay sports talk show helps, But it's their incredible customer service, honesty, and integrity that have earned them tons of 5-star reviews. And now you could be part of the team at Third Generation. Yes, they are so slammed, they need to hire more certified AC technicians and plumbers. It's a great family business to work for. My buddy John Rodriguez runs an old school family business since 1995. They pay well, give you all the holidays off, and they offer great benefits. No cold corporate atmosphere here. You're part of the family. If this sounds cool to you, call them and apply at 813-961-8024, or you can email your resume in at thirdgenerationplumbing.com. Just go to the website, you'll see the button, email them, or call them at 813-961-8024. And don't forget about the $169 yearly maintenance special. It's a no-brainer, guys. thirdgenerationplumbing.com, and they also do AC.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, voted number 3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch. My dad Caesar started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite.
I love it.
So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
Welcome to Kingmakers, home of the JP Peterson Show studio and Tampa's premier business networking and social club for members only. By day, it's an exclusive, vibrant co-working space with a stylish conference room, focus rooms, a full production studio, and an in-house marketing team. And by night, Kingmakers transforms into a sports-centric social hub with a full sports bar, golf simulator, and exclusive events. For young entrepreneurs and seasoned professionals, it's the perfect place to work hard, play hard, and make big moves in Midtown Tampa. Close the deal, celebrate the win. Only at Kingmakers. Become a member today at kingmakerstampa.com. Your business, your club.
Sports fans, it's time to gear up. Head to fanstreamsports.com and check out our brand new merchandise store. We're talking bold t-shirts, 3/4 zips, hoodies, hats, mugs, and more. Everything you need to rep your favorite shows and your favorite crew. Whether you're rolling with the JP Peterson Show in Tampa Bay, From the Rough in Dallas, the Tim May Show featuring Clay Hall, or the Jeff Thidoff Show in Ohio, or any of our FanStream Sports original programming, we've got the perfect look for game day and every day. So don't wait. fanstreamsports.com. Click merch and grab your gear now. Wear the stream, live the stream, fanstreamsports.com.
Hey, JP here for my concierge medical professional, Chris Lugo, PA. You've heard him on the show for a couple of years where he shares invaluable medical, nutritional, and supplement advice. With Chris, it's like having a medical provider as your best friend. What I love about this concierge service is the convenience and support he offers. I can text or call him 24/7 with any questions or concerns, and he'll promptly call in a prescription if needed. No office visits or copays required. It gives me peace of mind knowing I have someone genuinely invested in my health, not just focused on insurance profits. And the best part, the Bay Area Modern Medical Center's personal concierge service is more affordable than you might think. Don't let insurance companies dictate your health care. Take control of your health and wellness today. Visit BAMMC.com for more information and to schedule your initial free consultation. Empower yourself and take charge of your personal health with BAMMC.com.
They gave us the touchdowns, the tackles, the unforgettable moments. Now the NFL legends are teeing it up for a cause that matters, caring for kids. Join the Tampa Bay NFL Alumni Association annual golf tournament on Monday, March 16th at Carrollwood Country Club. Spend the day golfing alongside former NFL stars who play the game at the highest level. The day includes complimentary breakfast, luncheon, and award ceremony. The winning team will get an expense-paid trip to Tucson, Arizona to compete in the Super Bowl of golf tournaments. Register today at givebutter.com/QLHP3I. That's givebutter.com/QLHP3I. Or call James Ridley at 813-773-5723. 813-773-5723. Spots are limited. Register today. Monday, March 16th at Carrollwood Country Club. Play golf, meet legends, impact local kids. Sponsorship still available.
Let's go. Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show as we roll on here on this Wednesday, Hump Day. Our thanks to the great folks at Italiano Insurance. Just had somebody call me the other day. Said, "Hey man, I want to get my homeowners insurance shopped around." So I told him to call Charity over at Italiano Insurance. Hope that all went well. I bet it did, and you'll be fully insured. 877-7799. Make sure you have your business insurance. Make sure you have your flood insurance as well. And Timmy is back to run the show.
We are back.
Yeah, finally get your internet back.
Yeah, right about the time you came back from commercial with no sound, I was like, "That's really good timing."
Yes, excellent, excellent. Rick is really pissed about the YouTube ads during our show.
Well, they're the same as they've always been. We haven't changed anything.
I think something's changed. Do you guys see a change? Let's ask them because they watch the show. Do you see a change? What do you see?
Because we haven't changed anything.
What's Buckin says only own the team because of Malcolm. Now we're stuck with them, bitch. Come on, dudes. That's not nice. We don't like that type of stuff on this particular program. You can voice your displeasure at your whim, but we try to be respectful. Let's keep it respectful, lads. Please.
If you're gonna call anybody bitches, you call us bitches.
You call me a bitch. That's fine. They're coming back at you. Chris Cole says, actually, the Glazers don't want to spend money on free agents, but they spend on their own players who shouldn't even be re-signed. I think part of that is, that cash outlay. When you go get a Trey Hendrickson or a big player like that in free agency, you got to write that big cash outlay check, that big.
Yeah.
And that's cash money coming out, and that's tough. What's Buckin says we are a joke of a franchise that had to buy a Super Bowl. Everybody buys a Super Bowl.
Everybody buys a Super Bowl. Seahawks bought a Super Bowl. That's how it works.
Yeah, that's kind of how it works. But they're not buying a Super Bowl now. That's the problem. That is the big problem.
No, not at all.
Chris Cole says the Glazers are low-key looking to sell the team behind closed doors. Plus, they want to build through the draft, but it doesn't work because we can't develop them. Yeah, that's part of it. You got to be able to develop your players, and the Bucs have not done a good job of that, especially on the defensive side. And you look at some of these players that come in, like Isaiah McCollum. You know, you take a kid out of Sam Houston State in the 5th round with great measurables, and you're like, all right, good. Let's go develop him. Has he gotten any better? He started to, and then he regressed.
Yeah.
You know, that's not development. Has Yaya gotten better? Marginally? I think he had 7.5 sacks his first season. He just kind of hovers around that. You want to see guys get better, like improve. Jamel Dean.
Progress a little bit, yeah.
Did Jamel Dean get better? I mean, last year he did because he was bet on himself and actually caught some balls. But his technique did he? No, hasn't really improved, especially on the defensive side. Some of our offensive linemen, I think, have developed. You saw Cody Mock develop. Obviously Tristan was fantastic. Gedeke had a really, really rough start because they put him in the wrong position. Then moving it back to his natural position, he really developed. I saw him get better. Chris Godwin, obviously from the beginning, is always those guys kind of develop themselves as they get older, But just in general, especially on the defensive side, you haven't, really seen guys get better. And I know the NFL isn't necessarily a quote developmental league, but there's some of it that happens, especially when you're drafting some younger players. This one says, what's Bucket says, not the point. We have a GM that has his tail between his legs for the last 4 to 5 years. Yeah, I don't like your tone. I don't like his tone at all.
He's salty this morning, man.
There's salty, and then there's, just rude and nasty. So I just, I'm not. Again, voice your displeasure, but you don't have to be rude and nasty. That's not this show. So there's another show for you somewhere.
Go call Jim Rome. He'll take that all day long. Jim Rome show.
Yeah. All right, let's talk a little golf, shall we?
Is golf still a thing? I haven't talked about golf in forever, it feels like.
Well, we've been busy. We've been really busy, but it's the Florida Swing. So we got Valspar coming up, the players this week. So who else to call on but our own golf Superman, Johnny Gerber, PGA of America member. He is the all-knowing siege sage soothsayer of all things golf. How are you, partner?
I like other guys.
What's up, fellas? What is happening? We are well into the Florida Swing, right? With a lot of drama. How about the drama in the last 2 weeks? I mean, can you just how much more do you want when it comes to golf? And people say golf is boring. This hasn't been boring the last couple of weeks. Now, it hasn't really helped our wallet, that's for sure. But the golf has been great, and it's going to continue to go this week at the Players Championship.
All right. This is one of my favorite events. Obviously, you get such a great field, and it's one of the deepest fields, if not the deepest field in golf.
It's the fourth major, JP. It's the fourth major.
No, see, JP, here he goes again already.
Here he goes again.
By the way, this will be the last year that the Open Championship is considered a major. They're going to move it to the back of the schedule. It's not even going to be a signature event. It's going to be like one of those second tier pieces of crap, like all these other overseas tournaments are. And the Players will be the fourth major.
Boy,
I've already written a strongly worded letter.
You and the new commissioner Brian Rotop, I was listening to earlier this morning, talk about the changes of the PGA Tour, and that's a completely separate topic and subject. But no, that's not going to happen.
Can we get into that a little bit? I did not listen to it, and I've heard from some folks within the industry that this dude is very polarizing. There's some people that like the changes, but most people vehemently against them. Give me your thoughts on that and what he's trying to do with the tour.
Well, I think that, to be honest with you, JP, listen to his press conference. I don't know where he stands. Like he prefaced a whole interview saying, "Hey, listen, we have not made any definitive changes or even coming close to making definitive changes anywhere in the near future." Like, this is a process that they're going through, that they're trying different things. I don't think they know, because I think there's so many things. First off, they got to get the approval of the board. The new people coming on the board, obviously Tiger Woods is the big name that everybody likes to hear about, but there's other guys that are making these decisions, just not him. Camila Villegas, Adam Scott, guys that are on the tournament board, future tournament board. The thing that got me was two things: that they're going to start the tour the end of January and end in September, which I think they tried that with the FedEx Cup, because obviously no one's competing with the NFL. I mean, they're not doing it. And when they changed that in the FedEx Cup and moved it earlier, that was the smartest thing the PGA Tour ever did, because the ratings at that point were trash anyways. So I like what he's doing there when it says that, but they're cutting down 21 to 26 events, more signature events.
Boo.
So you're looking at, they're saying we
24 events,
21 to 26 events. So if you cut the middle, there's 23 to 24 events on the PGA Tour. That's including the playoffs. That's including the Ryder Cup and the President's Cup.
Does that include the alternate events during the signature events?
I mean, that's a good question. That's a good question.
I mean, the obvious.
There's not going to be any more. There's not going to be any more alternate events.
What about Valspar doesn't survive?
That's a question. I think Valspar survives, but it's certainly not going to get that signature event. I made a proposal. JP, you and I talked about this all the time, and I think, why are they not moving around the signature events? They talk about participation.
Yes, they said they were going to do that in the beginning.
That didn't sound like to me that's what they were going to do. So, I have my own ideas, following and playing golf for so long. Like, this guy was extremely vague, and I think he had to be extremely vague. And some of the questions that were asked by the media in the media center, I came away with it not feeling any different than I feel now, or knowing exactly what is going to happen. And they're not saying it's not going to happen until 2028. So that just tells you they have this big buffer window that they are proposing a lot of different things. But I still don't know what the hell they are. Like, I just didn't get it. Now, this guy I like how he said, hey, he's like, listen, I'm not in the world of golf. I didn't grow up in golf. I don't know the golf business of golf. I just know business. And he is comparing these. He wants to create a system, an ecosystem, kind of like other sports or relegated stuff, that the higher players, he thinks that if good golf will solve everything. If you play well, you're going to get in. Okay, I get that. That's great. But that there's a reason why you have 125 tour cards, or 100 now. All these guys need to play, and all these guys can play. Why are you cutting them out? Which I don't understand. Okay, you want to have signature events? Cool. We'll make it 100 event, 100-person event, and all the other events make it 125 or 100. So now you got the 20 guys that aren't playing, as opposed to 60 guys that aren't playing. Right? I mean, so I just don't understand. I didn't come away with this knowing anything different than I knew yesterday.
The problem with this, it's kind of like college football, Johnny, is that you had a system that worked for the most part. Okay. And you needed to make some changes for financial pressures. I get it. But then what you're doing is you're scrapping the foundation that made it great. You know, it's like Jordan Spieth didn't he's probably a bad example, but
not a terrible example, but I know where you're going with this.
I mean, these guys don't come on tour as stars. They develop stars. They come on tour as the 150th best player, and they got to work their way up, and they win a tournament. They get some confidence, and they become stars in this game. If you don't have those guys ever playing, then where do they come from? I mean, it's kind of like screwing with the foundation of the game, is it not?
Yeah, and I always use this analogy of 20, 25 years ago, the top one, the 125th guy on the PGA Tour probably can't win an event. He just can't.
We can now.
Sure they can. The 150th, 160th guy can win an event. So you're eliminating a lot of great talent. Now, the PGA Tour University has kind of helped with this a little bit in terms of the last couple of years that you see the guy who's won, like this past year, David Ford. He's been in contention early this year. Obviously, the poster child for this is Ludwig Oberg, who come out as a superstar, winning the PGA, number one. So you get that, and that's a great addition. I really like that. But that also puts a situation, and he made a comment. He didn't get into Live, but that's potentially that could keep these younger guys from going to Live. But I think Live is going to work its way out of it anyway. So I don't really think that makes much difference. But I always like to see the young kids coming up. I always like to see the new superstars coming up, because you can get on their train early. Jordan Spieth was a little bit different. He wasn't the Tiger Woods, but he was a superstar. But look, I mean, Jordan Spieth does nothing if he doesn't win John Deere, and John Deere is a smaller event. Right. So like I said, I don't know what they're trying to do. I think JP, to be honest with you, I didn't come away with it yesterday knowing anything different than I knew yesterday.
Aviation brought up a good point here on the comments. He's a regular listener of the golf show too. He says the PGA finally has 150 guys that can win any given week. So now they change it down to 75-man fields.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly my point. That is exactly my point. Here's what I did say, what I love. I mean, I love it on the gambling side. They're going to re-implement a match play event, and then the match play could be the Tour Championship.
Wow.
So he hinted on that a little bit, which, Tim, you actually mentioned something like that maybe a month or so ago. You're like, why? And, coming from a guy that, learning more and more about golf, I think that's a great idea. You have a match play. I mean, if you really want a real FedEx Cup or real champion, you do a playoff system in a match play format like all the other sports, right? Yeah. I mean, if that's the model you want to use,
like a knockout tournament,
yeah. But then he jumped into the realm of relegation, delegation, and all that stuff, with like soccer does, and I was like, well, I don't know about that. Like, I just don't know. I mean, that's why you have the Corn Ferry, right? That's not why you have the PGA Tour. That's the Corn Ferry Tour to me. So, I don't know. I hope he's getting some great advice, and I certainly know he is. I just don't like I don't like the rich to get richer in this circumstance because there's so many really good players. I mean, no one heard of Chris Goddard 4 years ago, and he was playing Korn Ferry Tour, and he would never be in the situation that he is now if he didn't get in or get in some of those bigger events.
Yeah, you're gonna be just putting a lot of retreads in there at the bottom and not feeding the young stars, and that I think is a problem for sure.
Listen, what's the future of the PGA Tour? The future of the PGA Tour isn't the 38, 40-year-old guys. It's the 20-year-old kids that are coming up. If you want to build, you don't build for now. You build for 10 years from now.
And those guys are more exciting. They hit it longer. They hit it better. I mean, they're more exciting to watch. I mean, because you got guys that can stay on tour that, can hardly hit it out of their shadow, but they can shoot 72, 71 every freaking day. Nobody wants to see that.
Work. Yeah, and it doesn't. 72 is 4 over 5 over par these days. And if you want to compare those things to the PGA Tour, but look how good these young kids, Luke Clanton, Florida State kid, look how good these kids are coming up, man. And Nick Dunlap and things like that. And, I always had a question of this, and we can look at it. Why are they given an exemption to an amateur in a signature event? Do you not think these tour guys are pissed off about that?
Yeah, probably.
There's no doubt about you got a $20 million event and you're giving a sponsor exemption into an amateur. Like, what do you like? And you're not getting like your PGA Tour. I'm not saying that they're cutting out other guys, but they are cutting out other guys, even though it's a smaller event. Give the guys who are part of this tour an opportunity, especially something big like that. Like, that just baffles me.
All right, let's get to the players this week. One of my favorite events. Let's get the card up here and see who we're gonna bet on. Take it away, Johnny.
I tell you what, listen, last 2 weeks haven't been great for us. If we look at the beginning of the year, the first 4 weeks, very profitable. Last couple of weeks, just this is what the beauty of golf betting is. One swing, like we had Shane Lowry, one swing can kill us in terms of that. And I love this aspect. But if you look at this card and if you look at this tournament, there is a lot of correlation to people who play well at Augusta, people who play well here. You could look at a lot of the past champions. You could look at a lot of success. Here's why I'll get a little insight in terms of a golf professional looks at it. Pete Dye and Augusta National makes you hit golf shots that the hole definitively does not shape the way you want it to. So to go back to layman's terms is if you see a hole that potentially goes right to left, that normally you want to hit the ball right to left. You want to shape it to where the way the hole works. This TPC Sawgrass and Augusta kind of does the opposite. They want to trick you. Pete Dye wants to trick you into doing things that you normally do not do. Puts the sight lines that are different. And I'm just telling you, there's a great correlation. Ludwig Oberg, I really love him in this spot at 26-1. If there's a guy that has the temperament that can play this place, not get frustrated, I think he's healthy. He's been playing well the last couple of weeks. I think healthy. Something goes on in that West Coast. He might have some a sneaky girlfriend or something out there on the West Coast that he gets sick when he goes out there. But every time, but when he comes back to Florida, yeah. Well, I mean, it's just there's something there that doesn't fit, right? So, he comes here to Florida and he starts to play well. You saw it last week at API. I really think he played well. He played well there last year. So I really think that at 26-1, there's good value there. Cam Young, 31-1, a guy that hits the ball extremely high. I think, again, he has the temperament to play this place. I think last year in the fall, winning in the FedEx Cup last year really propelled him and got his confidence in. I like him in this spot. This is my guy right here. Listen, Sepp Straka, 40-1. He's played well there in the past, played solid at Augusta. The only reason it hinders him at Augusta is the length. You don't have it this week. It is a longer golf course. It's going to play different all 4 days because of the weather, but I like this guy. If you watch JP, you and I talk about this all the time. If you go down the range on a PGA Tour event, you'll see next week at Valspar, there's just a few of those guys that sounds a little bit different off the club head. He's one of them. Yeah. And he hasn't really propelled 2 years ago winning Honda. I just think that this guy, I'm high on this guy all year. I think the Ryder Cup has helped him with his confidence. 40-1. I like Straka. I'm a big believer in things that come around. His debacle 2 weeks ago down at Cognizant, Shane Lowry at 50-1. You can get value 50-1. Self-admittingly, he said, man, probably missing the cut last week at API was the best thing for me because I was still thinking how much I just shit the bed at Cognizant. He was very candid about that.
Yeah.
He said probably missing the cut at API was the best thing for me to get away.
He went and got hammered for 3 days too. Got it, boy.
That takes it. He said he took his kids to Disney World. I was like, what'd you just go to what's that place you drive through you get all the drinks with the kids, small world. He just goes in and get a drink in every country. I think that's what he did.
Epcot. It's Epcot.
Yeah, Epcot.
You get drunk around the world. It's fantastic.
Yeah, that's what he did. That's what
probably
he did.
hunkered down in Ireland there and the UK and did about a keg and a half of Guinness. That'll do it.
I'm pretty sure he was driving around those little boats,
$1,000,000.
those little boats that you can get those drinks or whatever. But I like him in this spot. I do. He's always played well here. He's a guy. He's very creative. That's what it takes around this place. You have to be very creative. Obviously, his success at 17. Brooks Koepka made a comment yesterday that 17 is he can't play 17. Koepka getting in the field is another story, right? I think that's a great storyline. Not on the card. I think you need more reps. But 2 top 10s as always. Good value on Hideki plus 300. The only thing I'm worried about Hideki is, boy, he has to drive it just a little bit better. He can't drive it poorly around this place. The rough is going to be about 5 to 6 inches. It is an overseeded rough. They overseeded the whole golf course. So it's not a 5-inch, 6-inch Bermuda. It's a bluegrass. Not saying that's any better, but he just has to drive it better. If he drives it better with his ball flight, it's not going to be extremely windy. It's going to be a little soft. They'll get the sub airs on the greens. Love him in this spot. Same way with Jake Knapp, plus 300 to finish in the top 10. Trending well. Took last week off with a little bit of an illness or injury. I think this is a guy, especially playing well. He likes playing in Florida, even though he is a Cali guy. He can take some lines on this golf course. A lot of these guys cannot take with his length. He's very creative. He can move the ball both ways, and he can hit it high. I just like him. I just like the way he's trending well. This place right now, you have to have a combination of form and course knowledge to play well here. You can't go here in this place and fake it. You will shoot a million out here. I've played it. It's not a lot of fun for me because I'm not in that mode of going down there and playing well and playing a lot of golf going into playing TPC. So it's a hard place for me.
It is.
Two top 20s, Minwoo Lee, another. You put him in a spot that he's very creative, plus 220. Pretty good value here. He had the 54-hole lead 2 years ago, so he knows how to play this place and can maneuver around. I didn't like him to win just because I just need to see a little bit more out of him to get in that winner's circle, especially on a big stage. And I'm just telling you, Jordan Spieth this year is on a resurgence. He hasn't finished out of the top 20 in the last 3 tournaments, plus 550 to finish in the top 20.
Value. That's great value.
He plays well with this place. Again, another guy.
He's going to miss the cut, but if you want to throw some money away, that's cool.
We can certainly wager that on the next show if you prefer, sir.
Yeah, I'll take some of that action.
Yeah. 550 with Jordan Spieth. Again, guy that's creative, self-admittingly loves this place. Again, he compares it a lot to Augusta on how you have to shape the shots, be very creative, not the last 3 events finish in the top 20. That's a great sign for Jordan Spieth. And I look at it on a coaching and technical side. He is swinging as good as he's ever swung that I've ever seen him swing as a golf professional. It's the best and when I talk about lines and angles and things like that, it's the best I've ever seen him swing. And the only thing that's really kind of hindered him a little bit is his putting. And he'll figure that out extremely, extremely, extremely fast. So listen, I like this card this week. Again, the last couple of weeks, we haven't done well. We are 6-5-1 on our matchups. We are minus on our card in terms of profitability. But the next, it only takes 1 week, especially this week, to jump back on the horse. And then I'm really looking forward to next week. I know you're going to be on grounds all next week. To maybe we'll do a nice little collab. Give me some great insight for next week at Valspar. But this week is going to.
You guys aren't coming again?
Couldn't make it. We couldn't make it this year. I know
you're avoiding me, Johnny. I'm gonna get you though. I'm gonna get you.
You're the last person in the world I want to avoid. My liver might be avoiding you, but
I don't drink anymore, bro.
You don't drink any less.
No.
Yeah.
I've moved on to bigger and better things.
You don't drink beer anymore. It's on the vodka. It's on the vodka.
All right, Johnny, great stuff as always. And you'll have your matchups on Saturday and Sunday morning, correct?
Yeah, have matchups Saturday, Sunday morning. If something we like, we did go on the positive side on our matchup 6-5-1. Again, still in the red a little bit on our overall winnings. But hey, that's just part of it. It's like I said, that's why it's important that you follow every single week and just don't. It just happens. It's just very hard. It goes ups and downs. But again, last 7 years we've been profitable every.
That's right. So now I take advantage. Yeah. Now this is when the money starts rolling in.
That's
all right,
right,
Johnny, great stuff. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you.
Appreciate it, fellas. Have a good day.
More From the Rough podcast coming up tonight at 5 o'clock Eastern. So tune in if you want some more of that great
6 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Central.
5 o'clock Central. My bad. All right, one last break, and we come back. We'll hit all the rest of your great comments, and we'll get to the great Mark DeRosa moron that he is. This is one of the biggest blunders.
Everybody makes mistakes.
Tournament. Back in 3. As the Rays enjoy being back in their Tropicana Field home this season that was ravaged by Hurricane Milton, Italiano Insurance wants to remind us all how important it is to be properly insured. 40% of you are underinsured. That can mean financial disaster. Let the experienced and friendly agents at Italiano shop your policies for the best price and the right coverage. Italiano saved me over $1,000 on our auto insurance last year, over $500 on our homeowners insurance. They can do the same for you. That's a grand slam. Might as well get a double play by adding flood insurance and business insurance to your portfolio. Cost less than you think, and trust me, you do not want to risk your home or personal wealth. That's a whiff. So step up to the plate and call 813-877-7799 and chat with our all-star agents at Italiano Insurance, or call our Boca Grande office at 941-964-0400. Hey, lots going on at Genesis of Tampa, selling amazing vehicles and doing great things in the community. And March is Gray Bull Rescue Military Appreciation Month. A portion of all vehicle purchases go towards a donation to Gray Bull Rescue, who recently saved dozens of Americans from the cartel violence in Mexico. A great organization. St. Patrick's Day is coming up. Wear green, buy green, save green. Wear green to Genesis of Tampa on St. Patrick's Day, March 17th, for $500 off any vehicle in stock. Buy anything green that's green in color, the cars, SUVs, you get $1,000 off. Also, buy a vehicle between March 14th and 17th, and you'll be entered to win a trip to Ireland on us. How about that? Of course, Genesis vehicles are the best in class for value, technology, luxury. And there's a National Genesis Signature event going on currently to get 1.9% financing. Limitations apply. Whether it's the G70, G80, 90 sedans, or the incredible SUV lineup, take a test drive and see what everyone is talking about. It's special. Genesis of Tampa, 801 East Bears Avenue. Tell them JP sent you. Hey, the Golden Diamond Source wants to be your family jeweler, so don't wait any longer to find that one-of-a-kind perfect engagement ring for that special someone in your life. At the Golden Diamond Source, they can design anything you want personally. The Golden Diamond Source can help you trade in your old broken jewelry and use it towards a new purchase as well. And with gold prices at record high, now is the best time to do it. They only sell natural diamonds at the Golden Diamond Source, so if it's a real love, it should be a real natural diamond. Don't start your relationship with a fake diamond. Bad idea. And with the Golden Diamond Source first-time buyer program, you can learn all about the 4 C's in all the different shapes and styles. And they are able to show you a huge selection of inventory to choose from. And don't forget, 0% financing for up to 5 years. If you finance $5,000, it's only $83 a month. Make sure it's a Golden Diamond Source Diamond, 3800 Almerton Road, always online at goldendiamond.com.
It's a love you give only at Golden Diamond Source.
JP here for Riveters, our new official sports bar and grill of the JP Peterson Show. And just like our show, no BS, no corporate chain feel, just amazing, authentic folks serving great comfort food in a casual atmosphere at unheard of prices. Riveters is located just south of Raymond James and Steinbrenner Field on Dale Mabry, walking distance to the park, so free parking, great place for pregame and postgame. Let's talk about fresh food. Nothing is frozen. Burgers, wings, prime rib, roasted fresh daily, never frozen. That makes a huge difference. The mahi, the salmon, also super fresh. All our sauces are original recipes made in-house. Our Warhawk chili and fully loaded potato soup is made fresh in-house. It's the best food anywhere, served by people who actually care. Riveters on Dale Mabry, just north of 275, just south of where the Bucs and Rays play. We'll see you there.
Sunshine State, where the storms roll in. Gotta keep your roof strong to never give in. From hurricane winds to that summer heat, pitch roofing's here and they're hard to beat. From shingles to metal, they got the skill, fixing up your home with a builder's thrill. When your roof's in trouble and you don't know who to call, just remember Pitch Roofing, they'll cover it all. Pitch Roofing, roofing done right, keeping you safe day and night. In the Florida sunshine or stormy skies, Pitch Roofing, roofing done right.
Let's go. Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at the Golden Diamond Source. They have a whole new men's section there. If you want to go get a nice chain with a beautiful crucifix on it, you can do that. If you want to get a baller watch, they got those nicely pre-owned Rolex watches. Great investments, by the way. So there's a great selection there of that. All kinds of great stuff for you dudes and for the ladies as well. Get something for your ladies, something nice and shiny. And if you're looking to pop the question, no better place than the Golden Diamond Source, because you're going to get a real diamond and you're going to get what you pay for, and you're going to get a great deal because that's what they do with the Golden Diamond Source. 3800 Almerton Road, always online at goldendiamond.com. All right, so I had to get to this. Watching Italy, I came home last night from the Lightning game, and I turned on I'm like, let's see how bad we're drubbing Italy. It's 8-4 Italy.
Oops.
Late rally, but Bryce Harper came up with a chance to tie it up because he wasn't in the starting lineup because the manager, Mark DeRosa, thought that his team was already assured to get into the quarterfinals. Check this out.
Ton of respect for Italy. It's weird. We want to win. We want to win this game, even though our tickets punched to the quarterfinals because Mexico plays Italy actually tomorrow. So the way the schedule lines up, this is an important game for us. Nolan McLean will start. He's on the bump and he's good to go. He's an absolute beast, and I expect him to throw the heck out of him.
What? He actually said that on TV too.
He did. And he, Orestes and I were just talking about this yesterday. I don't know if we actually said it on the air. Maybe we might not have during the O show. It's like that dude just strikes me as a cocky, arrogant ass. I've listened to a bunch of his interviews, and I just, somebody who just kind of grates you.
Yeah.
Just, and he's been put into a position that clearly he's not either taking seriously or is over his head. I like all the patriotism and stuff, but this is a blunder beyond blunders. And then you go out and you manage a game like it and you lose. And now
that's bad.
If Mexico scores 4 or less runs today and wins the game, you're out. You're out. And it goes down to kind of the tiebreakers and it's total runs given up. And the U.S. has given up 11 runs. Now, if Italy wins, they're in. And they're throwing Aaron Nola today. So I don't know how the matchups even look, to be honest with you. So all the teams are kind of on fumes and pitching, but which means there could be a lot of runs scored, which will be good. So as soon as, if they get to 5, then we're good to go, even if they win or lose. So it's anything but a lock. And how you go out and manage a game like that, thinking you're already in, is absolutely unconscionable. Unconscionable. I don't even know what to say to it, but this great run that the U.S. was on, and I was just a little taken aback on how they played last night.
Very lackadaisical, no sense of urgency.
Yeah, like they thought they were already in.
Yeah, because that's what their manager told them.
Good God.
So there wasn't any player that said,
"Hey, coach,
by the way, coach, we're not in."
Yeah. Yeah. Said the Ravens renege on the Crosby trade, and in less than a few hours they signed Trey Hendrickson. Bowles and Light, what are you doing? Listen, it's Maxx Crosby's out there, and Charlie talked about this. He's a total game changer, wrecker. I know he might be a risk. If you're serious about winning this year, taking advantage of the Baker years and what you have after you've lost Mike Evans, because Mike doesn't believe. And somebody asked me, do I think this is Mike's fault? Some writers out there are saying it's Mike's fault. It's not Mike's fault. This is the Glazers' fault. They kept Todd Bowles.
Yeah.
It's just, there's a whole lack of urgency to everything they're doing. And it just belies, a seriousness about winning. You'll get Maxx Crosby. I'll change my mind. He's right there for you.
And now he's cheaper than he was before.
Cheaper than the price is not what yesterday's price was, and it came down.
Yep.
How do you not go make that deal? Then you're like, okay, now we got Anzalone. Hopefully he's got a little bit in the tank. Now you got Maxx Crosby. Now you can, maybe get a really good other inside linebacker or edge rusher with your second pick, maybe move up in the draft and get another and add another. I don't want to talk about David Walker, but he is coming back. Maybe he can give you something. And then, maybe go find another defensive tackle. There's some opportunities here to do something, but Maxx Crosby changes the entire equation on everything. It changes the way your fans look at you. It changes the energy in the room. It changes the total energy around the team. There's not one single move that you can make that would do that. And here it is, right? Just sitting there waiting for you. And it's really only right now, it's like 2-1s obviously will get it done. It might be less than that.
I bet it's less now.
And is there risk? Absolutely, there's risk. There's a risk to everything. Football's a risk, big time risk. But there's no move out there that if he stays healthy is going to make even close to the same reverberation as this would. It's as clear as day. If the Bucs are serious about winning, they'll make the move. If they're not, and I think they're not at this point, they won't. So I don't expect them to do it. But I hope they prove me wrong. I hope they prove me wrong.
It is certainly head scratching right now. Whatever's happening at One Buck Place, I don't know what it is, but it's head.
It's not though. It is what it is. Nathan Elliott says Jason Light. Come on, let's spell that correctly. I know you're doing that for effect. Got credit when he should not have. John Spytek was the real architect behind Super Bowl. Time will build this case. It's a possibility. I would not agree with it at this point because I think Jason made the first move, and that was getting Bruce Arians. That wasn't John Spytek, and that was the key move. Brady doesn't come here without Bruce Arians, even though maybe they grew to dislike each other, perhaps. But that was the reason he came here. No question about it. Nathan Stout says Hendricks is going into his 10th year and missed 10 games last season. Glad we passed on him. I'd gamble on Crosby. I think we have him under contract for 3 to 4 years. JP, do you think Crosby is a reality? No, I don't, unfortunately. But it's a great litmus test to tell the fans everything they want to know. And yeah, you could say, oh, there's too much risk, too much cost. Look, salary cap is very malleable. You can do a lot of different things with it if you want to do it. They got cap room. They can make it happen. Do they want to make it happen? We shall see.
That's the question.
And, if I'm not mistaken, though, since he's under contract, you don't have to write the big check because the big bonus has already been paid. It's just a matter of paying the salary. And I know it's big, but you don't have to write the big bonus check, which I think is the thing that the Glazers don't want to do. So it's more doable. Like it's right there for you. I mean, it is right there for you. And guys like this just do not come available. The only reason the Raiders are getting rid of them because they're in a total freaking rebuild and they need picks. It's like Top Gun. Engage, Mav. Mm-hmm. Doesn't look good. It doesn't look any better. Doesn't ever get better than this. All right, partner. That'll do it for today. Let's hope that we are wrong. And by tomorrow, we're talking about Maxx Crosby coming to Tampa Bay. Doubt it very seriously, but.
Or somebody. How about just somebody coming to Tampa Bay?
Somebody can rush off the edge, please.
Because there's guys. There's guys still there.
Nah, not really.
Not a lot. Not a lot.
If you watch it, Avion Clowney.
Look, just about everybody is an improvement right now.
Let's
You know
get
what,
Calais
Clowney-
Campbell and Clowney.
You know what? Clowney would work well in that defense. I think Clowney would work well in that defense.
He'd work better than what we got. That's for damn sure.
True story.
Depending on David Walker. Have a great day, everybody. We will be back tomorrow. Ken Hagan's going to join us tomorrow. We got a big lineup tomorrow, Tony. We got just hold on. Stand by. Just got a text. Hold on.
Uh-oh. Trey Hendrickson to Maxx Crosby also to the Ravens.
Looks like Rondé will be on Friday. On Friday, and tomorrow we got Ken Hagan off the top, Brian Bradley live from Amalie, and Jeff Antonelli with the Rowdies opening up this weekend. That's a big show. A big show.
I don't even
All
know.
right, lots more coming your way this week. Hopefully, Timmy has internet tomorrow.
Hopefully.
And, screw this up. Have a great day, everybody.